9738 was an anti-tank gun used by the German Wehrmacht during World War II. This gun was a combination of the French M18 97 75mm field gun paired with a muzzle brake from Solothurn, Switzerland, mounted on the carriage of the German 5cm Pak 38 anti-tank gun, and it could fire captured French and Polish ammunition. Due to the light weight of this gun, good mobility, and decent anti-tank capability when firing high-explosive anti-tank, heat, rounds, which are usually sufficient to penetrate T-34s, and even the side armor of KV tanks can be penetrated, it is suitable for anti-tank use. However, it also has drawbacks, such as a low muzzle velocity. Although this does not affect heat's armor-piercing performance, it means that the effectiveness when firing conventional armor-piercing shells is poor, and there is a certain difficulty in targeting small moving targets, as even heat rounds have an effective range of only about 500 meters. Additionally, this gun has considerable recoil, which is particularly notable when firing armor-piercing shells. A considerable number of M18 97 75mm field guns were captured from the German army in Poland and France. After modifications by the Germans, these guns were renamed FK97, P, 7.5, and 7.5 cm FK231, F, and were allocated to the existing German field artillery units. In 1941, shortly after Germany invaded the Soviet Union, German units encountered new Soviet tanks, namely the medium T-34 and the heavy KV. Their thick, sloped armor rendered the German 3.7 cm Pak 36-toed anti-tank gun ineffective. This situation prompted the Germans to require more powerful weapons to destroy them at normal engagement distances. However, since Germany's 7.5 cm Pak 40 was still under development and would not enter production and delivery until November, a suitable solution had to be found during this transitional period. In the eyes of the German army, modifying the French artillery to make it suitable for anti-tank tasks was a very good choice. Although the original design was not suitable for anti-tank use due to its relatively low muzzle velocity, narrow firing arc, only 6 degrees, and lack of suitable suspension, with a transport speed of only 10 to 12 km per hour. Therefore, the German army decided to mount the main body of the artillery on a detachable carriage of the 5 cm Pak 38 anti-tank gun to solve the issues of firing arc and transportation. To reduce recoil, a large muzzle brake was also installed at the muzzle. This gun mainly used anti-tank high-explosive shells to penetrate armor, and the penetration principle of these shells was unrelated to their speed. Another main user of this gun, the United States Army, also has a redesign similar to that of the German Army, namely the M2A3 75mm anti-tank gun. A total of 2,854 of this gun were delivered in 1942, subsequently, 858 were delivered in 1943. Additionally, in 1943, 160 guns were mounted on the 7.5 cm Pak 40 carriage, Pak 97 40ths. The manufacturing cost for each gun was 9,000 marks, which was cheaper compared to the 12,000 marks for the Pak 40. The production of the Pak 9738 was halted as the German army gradually began to deploy more powerful anti-tank guns. The Pak 9738 arrived on the battlefield in the summer of 1942. Despite its unimpressive lethality and considerable recoil, it remained in use until the end of the war. The scale of its use can be illustrated by the ammunition consumption. 37,800 rounds of heat were used in 1942, and 371,600 rounds in 1943. On March 1, 1945, the German army still had 145 Pak 9738 and FK231 ETF. Although only 14 were deployed in frontline units, there were 10 7.5 cm Pak 9738s, F, and PZ.740, R, that were experimentally mounted on the chassis of the Soviet T-26 light tank. These self-propelled guns served in the 3rd Company of the 563rd Anti-Tank Battalion until they were replaced by the Weasel III on March 1, 1944. The Finnish army also continued to use the Pak 9738 during the war. The Finns purchased 75mm field guns from France in 1940 but were disappointed with their performance, so in 1943 they reached an agreement with Germany to upgrade these guns to the Pak 9738's specifications. The conversion of 46 guns was completed from March to June 1943. 7 were lost in combat, and the rest remained in service until the end of the war, with all being retired by 1986. In October 1942, 5 to 6 guns were provided to the 3rd and 4th Armies of Romania's infantry divisions. 9 divisions of the Italian 8th Army allocated 6 anti-tank guns as artillery pieces to the artillery regiment in 1942. Its derivative type is the Cannoni de 75/39. As of November 1942, the Hungarian 2nd Army had 43 Pak 97 38 guns in service.